Hi friends, so this winter I'm doing less reading than I did last winter, and I am really okay with that. And I did want to spend some time today talking a little bit about self-care and what that is looking like for me this current winter, and the fun new thing that I've been dialing into and where that is headed. So I do want to give a lot of credit to my husband for modeling his own self-care, from pottery to learning how to play cello and having a healthy dose of video game fantasy in his life.
What if the legend was true?
He's also become a really good fabric artist by both knitting and exploring crocheting. I have a wonderful maroon scarf that he's made. I just absolutely love it. And one of his things that he's really gotten into, and you can see such an improvement from him being able to tap into it and hone into this self-care regimen, but also hold this mindfulness and escapism in, is through his painting recently. In the last couple of years, he's just gotten really good. I'm really proud at what strides he's made with his creativity in that aspect. I'm not great at it. In fact, I'm bad at it. I tend to align self-care with the need to be productive. Have I earned it on this weird spectrum of trying to analyze my sense of worth by productivity? And I do talk about being productive, and what I mean by that is that I don't feel productive in engaging with my life and feeling purpose, and that there is this high aspect of quality. And I know that there is an abundant amount of love around me at home with my husband, and the kind of love that you receive from pets. And outside of that, I don't really have a whole lot. So in that sense, I struggle with aligning self-worth and self-care, thinking that it's like an either or and not like a concurrent approach. And over the years, I've sort of gotten distracted and lost by a lot of things in my life that's pulled me away from prioritizing self-care and the aspect that I used to know. I used to go out for long hikes and photograph and take short little videos of a lot of things. And I have slowly gotten back to that in the last couple of years of taking better care of indoor plants, though it's not really my strong point with indoor plants. What I'm actually really good at is maintaining and keeping a vegetable garden. It's something that really has leveled me in ways that I didn't know I had needed. I didn't know that I had gotten so far away from needing it because everything had been, again, just pushed aside. We have a house under construction. There's been financial and unexpected employment changes. Things are not on the timeline that we originally expected, and things just have felt heavy off and on, as well as obviously struggling seasonally with my own sleep issues and stresses regarding the fallout of what PTSD actually is and how it shows up in life. So I have really just allowed myself to grow from this place of comfort. And it's allowed me to stop and take inventory of the small little things that are near and around us, but as well as sort of going back to what I am comfortable with in the aspect of observing and capturing these little moments in nature, the way light hits, and I'm getting better at that particular hobby. Another thing that I have gotten away from is actually music. It used to be such a staple in my life and a point of being centered and a creative outlet. But I'm looking to blend that with something that I am growing more and more into as far as what both self-care is, but also feeling a sense of purpose. And as I'm getting back into writing and doodling artwork, I think I'm taking further steps forward into building something a little bit more concrete and feeling like I'm a little bit stable. And the best part about what this is that I get to blend music and written and visual creativity together, and I get to put it forward out into the world in a way that I used to a lot with music, in a different way, an exciting way, something that is new and has a learning curve to sort of learn and master, but also grow comfort in developing a sense of familiarity that I can come back to it without it being a point of stress or contention in my life. But one thing that I have learned is that I need to actually protect a lot of this. I have seen it both in music and in writing, through social media, and just in navigating similar circles with other people that display this type of creativity. And today I'm taking steps to protect myself and trying to be as smart as possible. So I am looking at copyright.gov in regards to protecting some of these caricature depictions from a blend of imagination and also my real world life, with a lot of these ideas that sort of stem from this book that came to me this past spring while I was dealing with the stress of adaptation to what is our new schedule and how we are also navigating the world, as well as tapping into my own exploration and growth and healing and therapy, and dealing with family therapy and the stress of being married to somebody who's chronically sick. And that this is sort of a byproduct that also became a stepping stone, if that makes any sense, where it was me processing something else by focusing on something for a greater cause beyond me to distract me a little bit, but it also helped give me a new lens to look at things that I'm really happy that it's gifted me in that aspect. And what I've maybe come to learn in the last year is specific to my need for fulfillment and creativity, and less of the rational things in life and the stresses of just life in its complexity. I need that creative fulfillment. That is something that I've compromised to my own detriment, and I know that that has also worsened where I'm at in relation to, again, what is that spontaneous stuff that comes up with PTSD. I have no way to sort of diffuse or implode those big explosive types of feelings where you don't know where to turn them into. And they feel like much more, and I don't know how to describe it, and they feel like much heavier weights put on to carry around from day to day. So I know that my theme this year is plant-based, but this is also something I just want to vlog about in the aspect of self-care is something that takes all kinds of different forms, whether it is out in the garden and planting, and this concept of Shinrin-yoku, which I am going to unpack in a much lengthier explanation to share in the future. But it can also be these like little creative outlets or dialing into a fantasy world. I think what I've really loved about actually diving into video games with Caleb in the last couple of years, after a weird relationship with video games in my own background, is that we get to dial into this fantasy world together, and we get to do these, fantastical, I don't know if that's even the right conjugation, we get to do these fantasy-based things that sort of play into an alter ego of being able to be a team and do things together as equals that I don't always get to feel in my real life self. And so I've been blending a little bit of the fantasy, but also in my own independent world for being somebody just with my own energy drive and something for my own sense of fulfillment. Music and artwork and just storytelling is something that has really blossomed into my life, and I'm putting it together in a creative way that gets to blend and marry and grow all of those things to be a more day-to-day presence in my life in a different kind of way. So this might be one of the last times I really talk about this, other than in passing, but I wanted to put it together because it was something that used to be a part of what I would think like my old self, and it's now in my present self. And I'm okay with that. I've dismissed it a lot. Like I just didn't deserve to have it, or there were other things that were more important, and in this like weird pursuit to try and prove something to other people on a different kind of scale that I only gave to myself in a lot of ways. And going back to the sharing aspect, I just want to say having your own sense of self-worth and taking the time for self-care has allowed me a little bit of a way to release some of those weights and those things that we carry around from day to day, and allows the escapism. And yeah, I want to share a little bit of how I've grown in this aspect, and I hope that maybe you'll take the time to discover potential ways to grow on your own that is something that you might get to fulfill from self-care. So let me know your thoughts. What type of fulfillment do you get from self-care, and how do you use self-care to monitor your day-to-day, or how has allowing more of it in your life improved your quality of life? I'd love to talk on that a little bit down below. So yeah, until the next video, remember to grow from where you are, and I will share more with you soon. Tschüss!